So the first question was, can you share a defining moment in your architecture career that shaped your approach to design or teaching?
Wow, such a big question. It must be during work, or is it during studies?
I think both
Work.
also. I think more to work.
More work.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question again?
Can you share a defining moment in your architecture career that shaped your approach to designing or teaching?
I think there's no one particular defining moment, like wow, aha, that kind of thing. It's usually a cumulative one, because as you start out as a young architect and as you work, your perspective change, your confidence or whatever change also lah. But I think what I learned from my seniors or those that before I come to my own is really to be able to discern and pick out what you want to learn and what you don't want to learn. Because out in the industry, there are some ways people behave or some ways they conduct themselves that may not be so desirable, like how they treat maybe fellow consultants or how they talk to contractors, or even client, how they treat consultants. So these are things that, as an observer, I'm mindful that certain things not so good, I try not to pick up or try not to be affected. If not, some people might think that, oh, this is the way that you need to behave or act. Then when they become the client, right, like some architects after a while, they go join the developer side, become a client, then they will act like how the client usually act. So if you're not aware, you might pick up wrong culture or the way or work ethics are. So that's what I guess some seniors did share this with me. Like you must be discerning, learn what you feel that is good, then eventually you will develop your own kind of style or your own work ethics. So I think this kind of like shaped me how I work, and during work, I mean as a project architect, when I lead projects, when I manage consultants, it's all about being collaborative. It's not like I'm the project architect, you must listen to me, or then you try to draw a boundary or try to push blame or that kind of thing. So I think this also carries on when you come to teach. I mean, you're not just one person teaching, you have to work with your team and all that. And how it shapes you in your career also affect how you eventually, when you come and teach, also will be different because if you think that, oh, I know everything, when you teach, you also feel like there's a very top-down kind of approach. So I guess that's how, at this point of time, is what I can remember and share. Yeah.
Then the second question will be, what practical steps can we take to start building a strong professional network while still in school?
Okay. I think the most practical one is to be friends with one another, because all my current network is basically my schoolmates, right? Because they themselves, they will go and establish their own career in different areas, be it in agency, authorities, or their own practice, or they become developer and all that. So it's all true because we know each other in school. And also when you go out to work, just really be friends with people, don't make enemies. Then your network will naturally come out. Because at this point of time, I don't expect you all to go and attend trade shows, go to industry events and shake hands. They won't even entertain you because you're like student right? So the most practical at this level is really maintain that friendship and connection that you have now. All the more if you further studies in university, I think that's the most important. because they will become your future network that helps you to maybe be it find jobs or a collaboration or whatever. Of course, you can try connecting on LinkedIn, but those are just very on the surface, no, to help you stay connected. Other times, sometimes it's really just by chance or by luck. Yeah, but the best is through friends, no, through network.
The third question would be, how do you think mentorship can impact a student's career, and what qualities should we look for in a mentor?
I think mentors for now, for you all, probably be your immediate seniors, or maybe if you go to, I think, any of the university, we should have seniors there. So what we try to do is we try to establish this senior-junior relationship, right? There's a close chat group, I think, that's set up by John. So if you go to that uni or what, then we will add you all in so that you all can, have a connection. So good qualities in a mentor. Anyone who has a heart to mentor. I guess we're willing to sit down and not just talk from his or her point of view, but also to be able to listen to you, see where are your struggles, and being open-minded, able to help you open your eyes to see things in a different perspective, and not so much of trying to force through his or her ideas, like you must do this. I think mentors are not supposed to dictate what you should do, but it's supposed to guide you, be it whether or not you all can see eye to eye, or you must follow what he or she is doing down this path, but it's able to guide you down different paths also, not just one path. Yeah.
And the fourth question would be, what skills or experiences should we focus on to stand out in the competitive architecture industry?
Maybe I ask you all first. Two ways.
Skills.
What do you think? Do you want to do architecture in the first place? Yes.
Yeah. Maybe skills, I would say, keeping up with the technology. I mean, like BIM, this kind of thing, because that's what we really need.
Every year there's like a new thing coming out for software,
Okay, so tech.
Yeah, tech.
Okay.
And experiences wise, I would say that just be you. Yeah, just be yourself. Don't get into the competition, because it affects your learning to a certain degree. Just
Okay. What was the question?
what skills or experiences should we
Skills
focus
or
on
experiences.
to stand out in the competitive architecture industry?
Industry. Okay, that means when you cross the border.
I don't know. I would like to stay in the competition, because that will make me like push myself more. Yeah, like comparing myself to others. Like, oh, someone's doing this and that. Oh, then I should like try and do more, or like do as much, then try to keep up with the pace. So
Yeah.
then afterwards I'll be able to learn more. I guess a lot of my projects I learned by doing it.
Yeah.
And going on YouTube and stuff like that. So basically using the resources you have.
Yeah, all is true. Yeah, I mean, if you want to continue to pursue architecture in this line, it's competitive, it's demanding, but yeah, it depends on what you want to get out from it. If you work in a big firm, what is your plan there? Are you going to stay there for long? Are you going to try to climb the ladder, or you try to set up your own firm? But setting up your own firm, there's many things that you can focus on. But typically, a lot of people will set up their own firm because you're small in Singapore. You're always limited to just doing houses. So are you happy with that? Then if you want to work for big firms, then you must be ready to, compete at different level lah. I think skills, that kind of skill set is a given, right? Even though if you want to really stand out, then you need to be really, really good at it. Like for example, if you are super good at really computational, parametric, or even programming, or now of course the big thing is generative AI, right? Both are together, like generative AI to do parametric computational design. If you're very good at it and nobody can replace you, or you are not so replaceable, then yes, that one you create your own niche. But if you're just about learning new software and then just trying it out, yes, it may give you that little edge, but it won't last long. People will still catch up, and then also then you feel very tired. So I think that the key thing is really not to be good at everything, because there's just so many things to be good at, right? But along the way, try to find your niche, your passion, your really what are you really good at. What is lacking is really an architect to be there to lead a project, to know what's supposed to do for a project. We need to lead lah. Designers, we have a lot of designers also. But if you are really good at design, then you jolly well be very good. And how to be very good? Win competition, right? And even winning competition in Singapore, it's not just about whether your design is good, but it's really how you craft it, how you find the right competition to compete. Sometimes it's even connections, yeah, like who you know, is very realistic, right? So sometimes certain competitions are even, to the point of being a bit political. So choose the right competitions that you should go to, and you know how to. So staying on top of the game, right, is also knowing how to play the game. You don't just work damn hard and then just like you think that your project is damn good and you will sure win, but somehow you didn't win then. It's maybe because you didn't play the game well. Yeah. So staying on top of the game. What are the skills and experiences that you need to have to stay on top of the game is you need years of experience first. Then once you figure it out, then you try to carve out that niche for yourself. Or rather, you define yourself like you define what you really want to do, whether is it continue in consultancy, or is it maybe you find something fascinating on the contractor side that you want to venture into, blah blah blah, then you just branch out into it and continue to drive at it. For me, my calling is education, so that's why I come up to do education. It's not so much of I don't like architecture consultancy. I can say that now because I'm not in it. But really at that point, it wasn't really a push factor, like, I had enough of it. It's more like, it's time for me to pursue my childhood passion. Right? If not now, then when? That kind of thing. So you need to find this kind of calling at different points of your life. Then all the skills and experiences to stay on top of the game will answer for itself. Right? Rather than just randomly, I need this, I need that. But to really figure out what is it that you want, then you work towards that.
Then followed by would be, what are the key architectural trends or technologies that's emerging in Singapore that students should be aware of?
I think most of you are aware of all the things that's coming out. Some of it may not hit you that much yet. I'm not sure I'm sure you all introduced Connect X already, right? I think Ron has introduced you on that. So that's the biggest change in the industry. It's not change in terms of, there's a new software that you need to learn. It's just the new mode of working, or the procedural change, which can be quite major, but it will not mean anything to you until you work. So if you want to over worry also, because this kind of thing is the best to learn by doing. But now you don't need to do it, so you learn it also no point because you don't get to apply. So I would think you don't need to be too worried about needing to know all the emerging trends and then be very good at it. Until you need to apply it, then I think you need to be good at it. Because I think these days you all pick things up quite fast, right? And there are a lot of things available online for you to learn, and then you apply. What's most important, I think, is being open. Being open to it's the attitude, being open to changes, to new things that surface. Yeah, I mean, Gen AI just came out in recent years, just like that, and then it disrupts work. It offers new opportunities. 3, 4, 5 years down the road, maybe after you are NS, by the time you come out to work or study, maybe there's a new thing again. Then you have to pick it up again. So it's never ending one. I tell you to be ready for this now, but maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it is not say it's probably like part of the work process or culture already, that it's become so norm, then there are new things coming along. So I don't think you need to worry yourself to keep chasing after like what I need to be ready, what I need to be ready. I think as a poly grad, you are ready and enough to go out to work or to further studies. Of course, the lacking part is experience lah. But you all finish your internship. When you all finish your internship, it will give you a little glimpse, and I think that's sufficient enough to prepare you.
What advice do you have for making a smooth transition from academic life to working in a professional architectural firm?
Smooth transition. Although I encourage, but I also feel like everyone also needs their rest. So if if during your period of further studies, during the semester break, continue to go for your short internship, right? Because summer breaks can be like 3 months or what, be it overseas or local, because that helps you stay in touch with the working pace or the requirements, because school and work very different. The way you do drawings, the way you whatever, or the pace is different. So if you want to say smooth transition, is to stay relevant to the working environment as much as possible. Maybe over your 4 years of study, you don't have to do every semester, but maybe plan maybe closer to 4th year. And if you go NUS now, internship at the 4th year, after the 4th year is optional. So if you want to smoothly transit, go for the year out. That means don't just continue study, finish a master's, then you go to work. Then you will be a little bit less prepared than people maybe who have gone for a year out. Year out means they go for like 9 to 10 months kind of internship, slightly longer than what you'll be doing. So at that, then also pick the right company to do your year out, to make sure you are really trained, because that year out is really to prepare you to be ready for work after you finish your masters, you come out, that kind of thing. I think that's the most practical to help you smoothly transit. But there's no such thing as smooth also depends on company, but most companies, they as unreasonable as it sounds, they always expect fresh graduates from university to be able to do the job on the first day. Like, okay, I give you this, you can do it. Most of them has the expectation. Of course, it will be a steep learning curve, but if you have that year out, or you have some exposure to internships just before you graduate, it will lessen the pain.
And the last question would be, what do you think are the most important qualities for success in architecture, and how can we cultivate them?
Success in architecture. What do you think?
Patience.
Patience, okay.
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Yeah. I think these are the essential qualities. Yeah. Yeah, teamwork especially important in the architecture industry because you are never one person. Unless you are a one-man show. That means you open your own business. For the first 1 or 2 years, you might really be just a one-man show. You do everything. But some people enjoy doing that, right? Then, no fault of theirs. Then eventually they could succeed. Maybe when they succeed, and then they start expanding their company from 1 man to 2 men to 10 men. Then that is his own success story, how he managed that. But when you start out, you might be on your own, but most of you will be entering some work, some company which is definitely you require some kind of teamwork, pair work, or whatever. Patience, perseverance, you all know because you went through architect education. When you go out and work, it's the same. But imagine doing 3 studio projects at one go, right? That's how real life work is like. You won't have the luxury of just coping with one project at a time. But if you compare it to study, it's almost the same. You also need to juggle other modules, right? So your other projects is just like your other modules, right? So, but you have one overall design project. So, and you know, building projects takes time. From the start, you design to finish DOP, then you can move in. It takes time. It's not like graphic design or interior design. A few months you can finish. Then you see, then you feel very good, right? So patience is one thing. But of course, you can shorten that by getting yourself involved. Especially if you're in big companies, you might get involved in projects at different stages. Because some, maybe you halfway you go in already construction, and then maybe you get to see the final product end result in a shortened time frame, rather than you start all the way from the beginning. When you first join, usually you will be probably somewhere in the middle or something. So yeah, what are the qualities? I think most importantly is really attitude. Alright, whether you have the attitude to learn, to admit mistakes, to make mistakes, but hopefully not costly mistakes. Sometimes you really need to make mistakes to learn, but of course, choose the right mistakes to make. Attitude to what else? Yeah, I think it's similar to the questions that you earlier asked, right? I think my first question, right? So what was it that defined my moment? So really is to learn the right things. Because out in the industry, sometimes there are certain things that are not so desirable, or not so exemplary. So you just take it, look at it objectively, but you don't take it as that's the way to do things. Yeah. You have your own opinion, own critique of certain ways things are done, but don't become cynical, which some architectural graduates do have. Like after NUS, they say, "Wow, this is a shit degree. I go out, then I get blah blah blah." If you go to Reddit or something, you'll see them whack the industry, whack the course, so don't become one of them. If not, then what's the point, right? You become so bitter. Some people do experience that, or even after a few years of working, then realize, wow, this is shit, then they go and keyboard warrior and all that. So yeah, so as much as teamwork, right, you need to also have at least a close group of friends, just like how in studio, right, in school, you need that close group of friends to occasionally come together, bitch blah, blah, blah. Healthy bitching, right, constructive bitching, then it's good for your emotional well-being, right? If not, then if you're out in the industry, sometimes you all might be working at different firms, but once in a while, I'm sure it will come good to come together and just bitch, right? You need that kind of outlet. If not, you just keep it inside. You also will go crazy, right? Or just OT. Don't. Time. Sorry, the question to that is also time management. As much as you want to persevere, you have a lot of patience, but it doesn't equate to you lose all your social life. You have no life. You don't sleep. You don't exercise. No, cannot. Right. So pick the right firm. Go and find out first what's the work culture in this firm. Not to badmouth anybody, but there are some which are good, some which are not so good. So can ask around, right? Then you know. So it's really not healthy to work yourself to death with no life and all that. All for passion, no, right? Doesn't work that way.
That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.